Dated, and welcome to season 1, episode 2 of Theater of My Mind. So, in our first episode, we introduced the game and adventure we were going to do. It is Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, and we are going through Alone Against the Flames. We've been using the PDF version, so I can just kind of click numbers. I created my character, Alistair Wayne. He is a young 30-year-old, just hired young professor of archaeology at Miskatonic University. He's making his way there from his old hometown where he feels dejected. And we left off when our vehicle broke down in this little village in the middle of nowhere. So if you're suddenly hearing lines from the movie Deliverance, it's probably not a bad idea. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share the screen. We're going to get back to it. Let's see, what was the share screen? And I'm going to do that and that. Share. There we go. We're back up and running. So we left off right here. And here's my dice roller right here. I've got the two 10-sided dice. Boom, 80. You know, if I were to have to do that. You can ignore the total thing down there because it's not really what this is about. It's about using it as a percentile system, and the first die will go first. Can I change its color? Oops. Guess not. I cannot change its color. Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's pick up 144 where we left off, which interestingly was the last one I read. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up there and we're going to go. The motor coach rattles on through the hills and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you, pinks tinting the clouds as the sun descends. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view. A settlement on the crest of a hill. This doesn't look like the pictures you've seen of Ossipee, but perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, a harsh stuttering from the engine interrupts your reverie. Silas frowns and rattles the gear stick. The motor coach falters in its ascent. Silas utters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth. Struggling at the wheel, you seem to inch up the hill until you reach the first buildings. Low dwellings constructed from a rough red stone. Silas wrestles the coach into a small bay off the road. He scrambles from his seat and makes for the engine compartment. Okay, that's what we read last time, so let's see what we can do. You must now choose to make a roll against Drive Auto or Psychology. If you choose Drive Auto, you need to roll equal to or less than the skill value. If you choose Psychology, you need a hard success. This is a roll equal to or less than half of the skill value, the number in the upper right box. You may attempt only one skill roll. So, yay math. I'm going to look at what I have. So Drive Auto for me is a 40. Psychology for me, hard, is a 20, which I'd have to do. The regular is 40. They're the same. But since I only have to do a regular success for Drive Auto, and I did choose that skill, so my character knows a little something about cars, I'm going to go for Drive Auto. So you'll see over here on the dice, I need to roll like 40 or below. And if I do, I will go to 174. But if I fail the roll, I will go to 194. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 40 or below. Boom. And 37. I made the roll. Yes. Okay. So make the roll succeed. Go to 174. Here we are. The grinding noises you heard could, of course, indicate engine trouble. But they also seem consistent with bad gear selection and incorrect declutching. It seems highly unlikely that an experienced coach driver would suddenly get this wrong, even after a long day's drive. If this is a ruse to make you spend your time and money in a local shop, Silas will be sadly disappointed in your purchasing power. So on your investigator sheet, check mark the small box to the left of the words Drive Auto. If you successfully complete this adventure, thanks for that. Thanks for the confidence. You will have the opportunity to learn from your experiences. So that is interesting to note. Those who come from like 5e or the long line of Dungeons and Dragons and old school TSR games where everything is kind of class-based, Call of Cthulhu is not. It is skill-based. Your characters are never that powerful, and you level up your abilities, not you. So, and you only get the opportunity to level up if you actually successfully use one. So in my case, I used Drive Auto there, and I succeeded in it. So I'm going to put a check mark by it. So at the end of the adventure, I might be able to level this up a little bit. Sweet. Okay. Now I'm going to go to 194. Silas opens the engine compartment. Open. What? Wait. Silas opens the engine compartment open. That's redundant. Okay. Just put Silas opens the engine compartment and sticks his head inside. Well, like that's all you have to say. Sorry, literature teacher. What do you want from me? The hot metal pops and sizzles. That's a good description, though. He pokes at various components, then withdraws and wipes his brow, smearing it with dark grease. I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be the oil pressure. Might be something knocked off kilter when we took that spill. Can't do much until the engine cools neither. And with the light failing, I reckon we'll be here through the night. He wipes his hands on a rag. The shadows from your surroundings are already long, and the air is chilly. You feel stiff from the journey, and a night in the rickety coach sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Emberhead, miles from any place. I only come through twice a week, but the folks here are good people. May Ledbetter keeps a spare room. She'll look after you. Up that alley, turn right, first house on the left. He scratches his cheek, looks again into the engine compartment, and spits on the ground. I'm not going to do that because the carpet, my wife again. Meet me back here at 8 in the morning, and we'll see how we stand. To look for May Ledbetter's house, go to 267. To ask Silas where he will spend the night, go to 251. To challenge Silas about the breakdown, go to 257. I am suspicious of this guy, for sure, because my character detected that was incredibly unlikely. The question then gets raised, though, do I want him to know? Because in the end, if he is going to make me spend a night here, I was tired anyway. I don't have money to spend. They're not going to get much out of me. But if I confront him, will he just get aggressive? How do I feel about this character? What would this character do? See, when I played this before, my character was a bootlegger, a member of the Italian mafia. And so he did confront him because that would make sense. But a 30-year-old, unsure of himself college professor who knows more about civilizations that died out centuries ago than he does about the one right now, he's just going to go look for May Ledbetter's house. 267, here we go. You drag your cases between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly weary, considering you've spent all day sitting down. Silas directions lead you to a modest dwelling with a slate roof. A nameplate reads Ledbetter, and underneath the sign is in neat copper plate reads lodging room. The lane around you is gloomy, but a lamp flickers in the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping in the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. That may have set my dogs off, we'll see. Going to number 4. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back and the wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and a rough-looking house dress peers at you. Her gaze takes in your traveling suit and your cases. Her voice has a slight Irish lilt. Okay, yeah, my adopted dad is Irish. Last name Curran is Irish, but I don't have the accent, so I don't know if I can even imitate it. But we'll see. I'm just going to go with it here. Hello. Should I take it as you're looking for a room for the night? I have to scroll up now. They see me scroll, or you inquire as to her rates, suppressing a grimace. As not the big purple dude from McDonald's that happens to be his birthday as I'm filming this, I guess. But the grimace like the thing on your face. As far as you've seen, the village does not offer you many alternatives. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable, she says. You look tired. I'm May. Come inside and we'll take a talk over a cup of tea. The Ledbetter house feels cramped, with a low ceiling and simple fittings, but it is well kept and a cheerful fire crackles in the grate. The aroma of the tea is soothing, and the cup warms your fingers. Have you come to Emberhead for the festival? Asks May. To explain what happened with Silas and the coach, go to 14, or to ask about the festival, go to 21. I'll just explain what happened with the coach. That makes sense. May shakes her head, and you glimpse a moment of deep-seated anger in her green eyes. He always drives too fast, thinks the road is made for him and him alone. He hit a mare some years back. That was a terrible thing. You should have seen the state of the coach. You'd be surprised at the damage done. She sips her tea, and gazes past you into the corner of the room. With living here, though, we can't afford to antagonize the man. He's about the only link we have to the world at large. And he's not a bad soul at heart. I suppose that going the same route for 15 years makes a man careless. You have to forgive him. May goes silent for a long moment. Then her eyes flick back to you. But you didn't come here to listen to me blather, and you must be hungry. I can rustle you up a bit of stew. How would that be? You ask again about her rates, and May names a price so low you accept it without hesitation. The room is small but comfortable, and the stew dark and hearty. After dinner, you have a couple of hours before your usual bedtime. To talk to May some more, go to 31. To walk around outside and get your bearings, go to 75. Or to turn in for an early night, go to 63. I'm going to walk around outside. Go to 75. All right, here we go. May's brow creases when you announce your intentions to take a stroll. Mind how you go, she says. Emberhead's surrounded by cliffs, and we don't have your fancy street lamps here. Take the lantern and watch your step. Outside, you see what she means. The sky is overcast, and only a few glimmers of moonlight peek from the clouds. Without the heavy lantern, you would be walking in near total darkness. You cannot hope to get an overview of the village tonight, as my phone rings interrupting. May Street is a narrow passage hemmed in by squat, dark dwellings. At the end, however, it opens up. A wide thoroughfare leads off to your right. A crude sign names it Silbury Street. To the left, a few yards away, your light picks out the crooked post of a simple fence, and beyond that, the ground drops away into darkness. You take a couple of steps closer, but you can see nothing. Air from below cools your face. Then some instinct makes you look around. Going to 86. An ink-black figure stands in the road, about 20 yards behind you. It stares at you. You form the sudden impression that it will run at you and throw you over the cliff edge. This is unsettling. Seeing it has been spotted, the figure slips down an alley. To return to the safety of the Ledbetter house, go to 100. To confront the dark figure, go to 121. Okay, every time this happened, when I did this the first time, whenever this happened, and when I DM'd this to 2 other people, the times this came up, which I think was 2 out of the 3, no one confronted him. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's do this thing. 121. As you approach, the figure takes a pace back, then another. It slips down an alley between 2 buildings. To catch your target, you must make a track roll. If you succeed, go to 141. If you fail, go to 130. Track. Okay, I do not have that skill, and the base is 10. I'm going to need to roll a 10 or below. Here goes nothing. 53 is not 10 or below, so I failed. 130. The figure moves fast, with almost silent steps. You are hampered with a heavy lantern in an unfamiliar environment. You emerge from the alley into a dusty courtyard and can detect no sign of your quarry. You scratch around for a few minutes, but the figure is gone. It seems unwise to continue your stroll through unknown, dark streets while this threatening presence is abroad. You head back to the Ledbetter house. May lets you in and settles back in her chair. Soon she begins to yawn. I believe I'll turn in. When would you like your breakfast? Going to 63. As May stands, you hear a clunk behind you. You look over your shoulder, but all you can see is a wooden door, securely closed. May tuts. The young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Ruth, come and greet our guest. There's a short pause. Then the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you from the gap between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What do you say? The eyes blink. Pleased to meet you. Now get back to bed. The door closes again. My daughter Ruth, 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Don't worry, she sleeps in with me. She'll not disturb you. Good night now. I don't know when I decided she was Southern, but there it is. You retire to your room. It is a little chilly, but you're too tired to worry about lighting the fire. The sheets are clean, and the bed soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in a town for so long, but you soon drop off. Looking to see if it says how long this is gone. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Go to 154. You dream of fire in the grate, coruscating colors shimmering through the dancing tongues of flame. At first, they are tiny, almost microscopic, but they grow until a kaleidoscopic inferno spills from the fireplace, spreading across the floor, up the sheets. You wake with a start. Daylight glints through the curtains. You get up and examine the grate, blinking the sleep from your eyes. It is quite cold. If you have taken any damage, you may heal 1 hit point back for your night's sleep. And I did, if you'll recall, because I fell on the trip. So I'm back to 10. All right. Now we're going to 166. May seems to have no running water, but has supplied some in a ceramic jug. You freshen up at the washstand and go in. She cooks a hearty breakfast and leaves you in peace to eat. At about 7:30, you are paid up, packed, and ready to go. You bid May goodbye, and she wishes you the best for your new career in Arkham. If you succeeded at a skill roll last night and wish to investigate the results further, go to 178. Otherwise, go to 192. I failed that skill roll. It's supposed to be a 10 or below, and I got a 53, so I'm going to 192. You were already tired of your heavy bags. Hopefully, Silas has repaired the motor coach, and you can resume your long journey. A sourpuss he might be, but the old driver seems to understand his vehicle well enough. You pause to check your watch. Still 20 minutes early. And round the final corner. The motor coach is gone. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. You put your bags down and search the area, trekking up and down slopes and around corners. At the edge of the village, you trace the long road back as it winds across the hills. 8 o'clock comes and goes. There is no coach to be seen. A passing villager notices your bags. Looking for the bus? I heard him take off at first light. He's due back in 3 or 4 days. If you need a place to stay, May Ledbetter rents a room. The man raises his hat to you and strolls on into the village. You curse Silas under your breath. Perhaps he went for parts, but you wonder if the old goat has stranded you here on purpose. It's very exciting. So how are we doing here? What? Show me a time. I do not see a spot that shows the time of how long this has gone. So I'm going to, well, you know what? Maybe it's up here. Let's, no. Okay, we're just going to keep going. But I am going to stop soon, right? Let's go to 218. May is doing laundry and looks surprised to see you again. Forgot something? When you explain the situation, she offers to store your bags while you try to arrange alternative transport. You're grateful to relinquish the load. Nobody here has anything like a car. She strokes her chin and narrows her eyes. Hopefully she doesn't have a beard like I do. Maybe you could find somebody with a horse and a cart for your bags. I could ask her around later. Try Mr. Winters at the village hall. He'll know if anyone will. Or ask among the artisans. Their workshops are first left on Silbury Street. She reaches over and squeezes your wrist. Don't worry. I won't see you sleeping in the street. Money or no money. You thank May and turn to face the village. She's a nice lady, am I right? She's so sweet. And I just realized I probably need more light. I hope that helps. All right. I've got a lot of backlight here, and that's not the best, so we'll try that. So we're going to go to 6. You wander the streets of Emberhead without any particular destination in mind. The village is built on a relatively flat upland with splendid views. To the north, the hazy tips of the White Mountains reach for the heavens. To the south, the sparkling waters of Lake Winnipesaukee touch the horizon. I really hope I said that right. The village itself takes less than 5 minutes to cross from edge to edge. You arrived on the winding road to the west. The only other road leads to the south, following a lower ridge of land as it turns east. In the southwest of the village, an open grassy space borders a ruined church, its graveyard cresting the cliffs. To the northeast, the 3 main thoroughfares meet at a raised black metal structure. It looms stark against the blue sky. So the town seems like it's centered around this thing. So you may now ask about transport at the local general store, that's 16. Seek out the village hall, that'll be 84. Walk down the lower level and check out the eastern road, that's 115. Examine the large metal structure, that's 57. Explore the church, that's 34. Look for local people with their own transport needs, go to 96. She suggested the village hall. And then like the artisan, so their own transport needs, 96. Let's do the village hall first, 84, then we'll try 96 if that doesn't work. The village hall backs against a cliff at the east end of Silbury Street. It's the largest building you've seen so far in Emberhead. It is, however, locked and shuttered. You walk around it, peering through gaps in the shutters. There seems to be one large room, presumably for community meetings, and a smaller annex which serves as an office and archive. On the windows, one of the windows is bricked up. Back at the main door, you can see no posted operating hours or opening hours. Mr. Winters doesn't open up mornings this time of year, says a gray-garbed woman. God, gray-garbed woman? What kind of voice was that for a gray-garbed woman? Let's try that again. Mr. Winters doesn't open up mornings this time of year, says the gray-garbed woman passing by, sounding suspiciously like May Ledbetter because I suck at women voices. Best come back this afternoon. You ask whether the office has a telegraph. Don't know, she shrugs. Who would we call? You will have to try again later. Well, she was like 5 kinds of useless with a side order of crap. Okay, you're beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? You may choose another option from those below. Do not repeat a previous choice. Once you have tried 4 options, or before that, if you are ready to move on, go to 3. So ask about transport to local general store, seek out the village hall. We did that already. Walk down the lower level, no. Metal structure. Let's do the local people with their own transport needs, 96, because I said that'd be next. And this will be number 2. Not far from the Ledbetter house on the north side of Silbury Street, there's an open courtyard. The rhythmic tattoo of a hammer seems to announce your approach. The courtyard is the busiest location you have yet seen in Emberhead. It is bordered by a ring of workshops. Some are brick buildings, some only rough huts. A blacksmith ceases to hammer, thrusting something red and glowing into a bucket of cold water. A weaver looks up from his loom, blinking at you a moment before returning to his shuttle. A potter, engraver, and carpenter each work in their own space, exchanging friendly banter. You move among the artisans, chatting about their work. Eventually, you bring up the question of export. Some of them send occasional packages with Silas. Oh, that guy. Some restrict their custom entirely to villagers. You receive no suggestions about alternative transport. Make a psychology roll. If you succeed, go to 106. Otherwise, go to 25. Psychology roll, huh? Okay, I have psychology, I think. Yes, I do. And it is 40. Okay, so I'm going to roll over here. 10 space, 1 space, 40 or below. Come on, come on, come on. 82, I suck. Okay, so we're going to go to 25. Whee! Let's go to choice. This will be our third choice. I'm going to check out the Eastern Road, see if there's anything there. Because it'd be really embarrassing if there's like a car sitting there. 115, here we go. The air is fresh and the walk down to the lower ridge invigorating. You notice cultivated fields stretching through the lowlands around Emberhead, and among the crops, some livestock, but no horses. Are you going to have to make your onward journey on foot? Further down, the road skirts the edge of the ridge and descends. There are a few scattered hovels here with signs of habitation. They are set a substantial distance apart. As you examine them, a door opens, and an older man steps out. He wears a bedraggled suit, but carries a piece of cloth, which he tosses over his head like a hood. As he does this, he sees you and freezes. Make a luck roll. If you succeed, turn to 127. If you fail, turn to 135. Luck. Okay, I have my luck is 70. Wait, I thought it was, wait, is that right? Yeah, my sanity 60, my luck is 70. My luck is 70. I've been miserable with these rolls. 70, that's a 70% chance, right? Let's see how lucky I really am. 70 or below. Go, 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 go. 83. Okay. Reminds me of playing XCOM back in the day. They have a 99% chance to hit and they miss. Okay. I failed, going to 135. The strange man breaks into a run, fleeing from you along the ridge. His gait is lopsided, but his movements have a maniacal intensity. If you give chase, turn to 150. If you have better things to do, go to 160. I'm chasing this guy. Where are you going, dude? You break from the road and pursue the man, feeling wild grass snatch at your feet. He sprints around the ridge, attempting to elude you behind the very rocks that support the metal structure high above. To catch the man, you must make an opposed roll with your versus, oh, my dex versus his dex, I guess. Okay, with your versus his dexterity. The man has dex 38. He scores a hard success on a roll of 19 and under, and an extreme success on a roll of 7 and under. Make the man's dexterity roll. Okay, so if he scores a 38 or below, he succeeds. If it is a 19 or below, it's a hard success. If it's a 7 or below, it's an extreme success. Let's see. Okay, my luck's been terrible. Watch his be great. 33. He made his roll. Of course he did. Okay, now it's my turn. What is my dex? Well, let's face it, if it's not 100, I'm going to screw up. 60. Okay. If I get a 60 or below, I tie. If I get a 30 or below, I have a hard success and I'll outdo him. Let's see. I think I'm meant to die here. All right. I think that Somebody's telling me something. I lost the opposed skill roll. Fart. 87. You round an outcrop to find the man has disappeared. The ridge extends much further to the west, and the outer edge leads to a dangerous drop. You've lost him. You may make a hard spot hidden roll. If you succeed, go to 181. Otherwise, give up and go to 160. Right. All right, spot hidden. Let's see. I have the base, which is 25. So that would mean if it is a 5. I need a 5. No, wait, hard. I'm sorry, hard. I need a 12. If I can't make a 70, I'm not going to make a 12, but here we go. Let's see what happens. Please. 62. I failed. No kidding. Going to 160. You turn back to the road in your core business, getting out of Emberhead and onwards to Ospey. The ridge gives you a good viewpoint from which you can see the course of the road. It winds with the hills, disappearing into woodland for a while before emerging further on. You lose sight of it somewhere towards a second patch of woodland. By your best estimation, that is at least 6 or 7 miles distant. You see no other settlement or traffic. It may be worth taking a chance and walking. The weather is still mild, but you will need supplies before you attempt it. Going to 25. You're beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? Okay. That was my third. So I can check out the, let's do the large metal structure, and that'll be it. Then I'll go back to her house. You walk up the approach, the most central of the village's major streets. It points directly at the odd metal structure. As you emerge from the shade of the nearby buildings, you are greeted by a magnificent panorama spread from the north to the southeast. The last colors of fall tint the hills in a sleepy gold. The structure, by contrast, is made from uncompromising iron, singed black. It supports an immense curved platform at the level of your head. Further struts snake up to a central point. It looks like they may have been some kind of sculpture at one time, but are now twisted and melted beyond recognition. An older gentleman passes, looking up at you with rheumy eyes. Are you here for the festival? He asks. That's the beacon. When they light it, night after next, you'll be able to see it 10 miles away. He gives a little nod of satisfaction, then moves on, leaning on his walking stick. Now you notice bundles of wood tied and stacked against the buildings nearby. Perhaps this festival would be an interesting diversion, but you really must head to Arkham as soon as possible. Make a spot hidden roll, like that's going to work out. If you succeed, go to 69, otherwise go to 25. Okay, spot hidden is 25. Here we go, I'm about to fail. Here we go, failure. 41, of course I failed. Okay, so I go to 25. And now, because that was my fourth one, I go to 3. Wait, is it not letting me do 3? Okay, the link for 3 isn't working. So that's interesting. Yeah, we're going to scroll up to 3 then. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now, actually, I could probably just do this. Where is it? Here? There. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pick up here. Your morning exertions have left you hungry. You roam the streets of Emberhead looking for sustenance. There is nothing resembling the busy cafes of your hometown or anything that might be called a restaurant. It is beginning to look like you will have to get supplies from the general store when May Ledbetter comes down the street with a girl trailing in her wake. This must be Ruth. As she notices you, she races past her mother and approaches you with a smile. This is a different Ruth from the shy creature of last night. As she reaches you, she stops and stretches her arms up in celebration. She looks up into your eyes. Abruptly, the smile drops from her face, and she looks several years older. She hisses. She blinks hard, then scuttles back towards her mother. May approaches, wrapping an arm around her daughter's shoulders. She smiles. How are you getting on? Have you found transport? Startled, you explain the frustrations of the situation. I try Mr. Winters in the village hall. He's always in of an afternoon. You'll be hungry by now. Help yourself to any food in the house. The door's not locked. You glance at Ruth, where she has squirreled herself behind her mother's leg. Her eyes implore you to silence. If you ask Ruth about what she said, go to 9. If you ask May about what Ruth said, go to 15. If you say nothing, go to 22. I'm saying nothing. But now it got creepy. Now it just got creepy. So the girl's like, leave. I mean, seriously? Okay. We're going to go to 22, and that's where we're going to stop. Okay, so this is where we are. 22. I'm going to write this down. Pencil, and this is where we're going to leave off. So I hope you enjoyed this second episode of season 1 of Theater of My Mind, where we play role-playing games by ourselves. Unfortunately, nobody approved the other name I had for the show, Playing with Myself. It didn't quite work out. Shocking. But either way, I will see you guys on the next episode. And of course, every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I upload videos, including reviews, these things here, first looks, unboxings, that sort of thing. And I look forward to having you pop into some of those other things. I would love to get some feedback on stuff. And I will see you on our next episode. Peace.